Your creative energy is something sacred, and it is taboo if it cannot be protected in one way or the other. There is a spiritual energy that surrounds being creative. We as creatives have to be aware of the situations and the people that can derail you and or deplete you. Sometimes you're better off on your own. And as Robert Greene says, too much circulation makes the price go down. The more you are seen and heard from, the more common you appear. Hello. My name is Lucia, and today we're going to be talking about how you can protect your energy and draw in all the energy that you need to be creative. So let's get right into it. The first point would be to spend time alone, being in solitude, whichever one you want to call it. Fill up that well as much as you can. Honestly, pulling away from that noise and distraction can really bring you closer to the kind of life that you envision, whatever creative journey that you have pictured for yourself. You get to listen to your beating heart, that still voice within you that you often ignore. So while I love connecting with peers and being part of a big, thriving arts community, I also spend a fair amount of time alone. But there's one thing to note here. There's a difference between feeling lonely and choosing solitude. The latter means that you have chosen to live this way. You have a deep desire to draw from deep within yourself. I strongly believe that it is often in solitude that we can actually remove the needs that we find in this physical realm. There's one amazing author, Dr. Dispenza, the author of Becoming Supernatural, talks of a quantum field where you can tap into another space dimension away from the one that you're in. So sometimes within the physical space, that is being in society or doing the things that you normally do, we're very quick to limit ourselves, to stop ourselves from achieving the things that we want or going after the things that we really desire. I think that can definitely sap that creative energy. If you find it a little hard to tap into that creative space or energy or creative realm, just be around kids. Even if you don't have any, but if you get a chance to be around them, you'll notice that kids can really tap into these worlds. A fan can become an owl, a plate can become a hat, and so many more things. And I encourage you to just allow your imagination to roam. Allow it to roam to different places that you never imagined. What are your ways of tapping into a creative world with infinite possibilities? Drop a comment below. So this leads to the next point. The next best way to protect your energy is to either meditate, say a prayer, or both. Either ways, meditation is a great way to get out of survival mode and into creation mode. This is actually according to Dr. Joe Dispenza. I seriously wasn't one to sit still and tap into myself or tap into another dimension, but I have the feeling that I should have tapped into this before, way before, because the benefits for me are way more than the cons. I feel that when your brain waves slow down, you're much more focused and more centered and ready to tackle the plans that you have created. I think that visualizing the things that you desire goes beyond just your creative life. It really spills into all areas of life, in my opinion. I feel that creativity is not separate from the lives that we value, whether it's sharing your creativity in some form or manner with people who might need it, or using it to figure out the kinds of meals you want to create that mean you don't need to rely on eating out. I believe visualization is not something you do only when you meditate. I feel it can happen at any point in time, especially when your brain is relaxed in some way or the other. So my question to you is, how do you disconnect as a creative? Feel free to share that below. So the next one is easier said than done. Walking away from toxic friends and family. Now, if the negative energy from people is spoiling your mood, then it is time to cut ties and to walk away. Now, don't get me wrong, you might have many people who support you, but there are also some people who might conspire against you. I think that doing your homework on a person or people is really vital, but also not sharing every single little thing, every intention that you have is one way that you can actually protect your energy, your power and drive, whether it's your intentions are related to something creative or not. Trent Shelton speaks more on this in the book Protect Your Peace. So your creative vision is yours alone, and it can only be experienced by you and not by another person. However, you might have the right people who you can share your dreams and your vision at the right time, of course, and who can be there to support you and help you reach your goal even. The point I'm trying to make is that finding the communities and people who can support us and who we relate to is really vital, whether they are creative or not. Let's stop investing in people who drain us and leave us feeling directionless. Finding like-minded people means that you can foster deep connections that are meaningful. And so the fourth way, which is one of my favorites, is exercising or moving your body in one way or the other. Whether it is doing yoga, walking in nature, going to the gym, you make your pick. And I love this one because experiencing the beauty that lies in the natural world can energize you and get some of those negative ions that you need. According to Google, negative ions are also called anions and are found mainly in nature, like the direct UV rays from the sun, from a waterfall, ocean shores, and even air discharges when lightning strikes. Though I do not recommend that you go outside and wait for lightning to strike you. That would not be nice. And so it is in being outside that we can revive those creative juices and get out of survival mode. And so the fifth and final one is one that is talked about so often, and that is taking breaks away from social media. I'm going to need a little bit of tea for this one because it's a big one for me too. Sometimes we're in for the highs alone, which comes back to the point of validation from external forces, and that can lead you down a rabbit hole. So whether someone likes you on social media or not, you're still worth something, and your art is still worth a lot. Unfortunately, with art, it is one of those things that take a while to build momentum. You've probably noticed or heard of the idea of paying the dead artist. Fortunately, that doesn't happen as much anymore. I feel that artists are starting to be compensated for their time. So sometimes when you see someone with 100 followers and another person with 150,000 followers, it's most likely they've been in the game for quite a while. You really just have to be patient with finding the right kind of people who want to, invest in your art as well. Don't compare yourself because you don't really know what they've gone through or what that person with 150,000 followers has had to spend their time doing, right? Because once you do start with making art, it is an investment and you need to put in quite a bit of time, working and honing your skills, and then, of course, connecting with other people too. I know it's really difficult to sometimes not go down that rabbit hole, not compare yourselves, but one thing I like to do, I make it a habit actually, and that is to just switch off Instagram and not be on there at all for some time. And that is, it helps me tremendously just not to focus on other people and focus on what I'm trying to do, right? Remember, you're trying to retain that energy and you don't want it to get sapped on the wide web somewhere. Remember, vibrations meet other vibrations. What you and your soul decide to tap into is what you become. I would love to know how you intend to protect your energy in 2025. Be sure to email or share with me, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear it all. All right, till we see each other again. Goodbye.